I want you, the listener. Yes, I want you, the listener, to press the like button, the subscribe button, but more importantly, comments. Comments that you liked or disliked the topic discussed. What would you like discussed? Because you, the listener, are who is important to me so that I can provide the value that you want and need.
Joel,
Yes, Ray.
our topic today is network 3x3x3, hours, days, weeks. Round this out for me.
Well, I was having a conversation with one of my consulting clients recently. I was explaining to him when he goes to networking events, like, how does that look for you? So I hand out some cards, I get some cards, I go home. I said, so what do you do with the cards? He said, I set them on my desk and I wait for phone calls.
It's like waiting for an egg to lay itself, you know what?
I remember those days. I remember being a young salesman in a company, not knowing what to do. As we talked offline before, just a lot of networking principles are just not taught to people today.
Very true.
And with the advent of AI and social media and everything, everybody thinks they know so much. But when it comes down to the brass tacks in business, it's still good fundamental networking that makes a difference. We're also in a B&I group, and a lot of principles of networking are taught there often, and they always seem to be like new concepts to people.
Well, you know, we have a really good net ed coordinator. Thanks, Joel.
You're welcome, Ray. It's great. I can remember the euphoria of myself going into these meetings for hours with, finger foods and, soft drinks and water. And if you wanted wine or a beer or something, and you're going around, you're meeting people. Hi, hello, here's my card. Oh, can I have one of yours? And you walk out with 50 cards and you're all excited because you think you got all these contacts. And then
the news starts.
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
So then your boss asks you, well, didn't you go to this networking function? Like, what? Well, I got all these business cards. I got all these cards. And nothing happened. Oh, we're not going to pay for any more of your networking events.
What?
But I worked. I was there. I did things. Well, what was the success? What do you do with the cards? What I talk about in our B&I chapter, but I also try to talk to even my clients is, it's not the quantity that you get. It's the quality of what you get. So sometimes they have a time for everybody to introduce themselves, the name of their company, and short 10 to 15 second synopsis of what they do. If you own a commercial cleaning company, obviously you're going to listen for things like, we're a warehouse, we have fleet vehicles, we're a senior living facility, we're an apartment community. Those might be some key words that, if those are your verticals that you're going to go after. So when it's kind of the free-for-all, you remember what they look like, and you go over and you introduce yourself. And it all starts with the handshake and making sure that the handshake is firm and not wishy-washy, and you're making eye contact, and you try to remember the name of the person, or if they have an ID, grab it so that you call them by their name because they're going to appreciate it. And you ask them about them and what they do, because everybody likes to talk about themselves. And then they're going to realize halfway through what they're saying, they're going to, oh, by the way, who are you and what do you do? And then you can kind of explain. When you part ways from that person, have some type of a pen with you and write some notes on that card. So oh geez, in-house operation, they outsource it, they get it done once a month, they get it done 5 days a week, they're a 7-day-a-week. A few little notes to jog your memory. It doesn't have to be elaborate. So at the end of the night, maybe you have 10 cards instead of 50. Well, now here's where the 333 happened. When you get home that night, their card should have their email. Email them in 3 hours after the meeting, within 3 hours, and just say, you know what? It was a pleasure to meet you tonight. I hope that we can sit down and grab a cup of coffee, water, whatever, just something kind of really informal, away from their business, away from your business, to just start a dialogue and just leave it at that. Then in 3 days, call the phone number and say, I left an email to Ray Hasto. He didn't get back to me. So let me call him because he's got a digital marketing company and I want to know more about that. I could probably use some of those services, but maybe he has an office I can clean. Let me call him. So, hey, Ray, even if you get the voice, hey, Ray, it was great meeting you 3 days ago at such and such a mixer. Again, like my email said, I'd love to be able to sit down and grab a cup of coffee with you just to find out more about you, your company, and the similarities between what we have and where we might have overlap, because referrals are always a good thing. And maybe you're both working on the same type of verticals that maybe a strategic alliance would be great. But again, you got to make that phone call. And in today's world, everybody wants to text or go onto social media. It's that personal touch can make the difference. And then if you still don't get a return call in 3 weeks, have a really effective form letter that you've written up, reintroducing yourself to the individual. Again, telling them some of what you would like to talk to them about, because you really want to help them get referrals. Because if you help others, they usually are going to help you in return. And sometimes you have to give that first referral. It sounds like a long process in order to get somebody to want to talk to you or to help you. But I'm telling you that the rewards are going to be magnified over time. I just got an email through a form on my website the other day, call to action. I remember Joel from 15 years ago. So from networking with somebody 15 years ago, I made a positive enough impression that now they have an office with employees and they're taking over multiple suites in the same building, and it's gotten to a point they can no longer do it themselves.
You know, Joel, I love the way you're stacking this. The point is that some people will respond on the email.
Yeah.
Some people will respond on the phone call. Some people will respond, that 3 weeks letter. And even though each of them doesn't respond perhaps the way we would like them to, or as soon as we would like them to, do it consistently. For times the phone feels like it is 500 pounds because I just don't want to do this again. Do it consistently. Those actions and the responses do stack. It's a great lesson.
In addition to that, you find out somebody's communication style. So when you're building your profile of people, if they respond to the email, you know that's usually going to be the way that they want to respond. If you call the cell phone number or the phone number and they either respond with calling you back or texting you back, you know that they prefer to call or they prefer to text. And if they respond to the letter, you know that they want a more formalized way. And you can decide yourself which would fit best with what you want to do. Because going a letter in the mail might be a little bit too long for communication, but at least you know their communication style, and then you can make the choices from there.
To our listener, we actually have a 99-cent download for a pre-built profiler. So there is that. Joel, I want to ask you one more thing before we bring this one to a close.
Sure.
Especially for those who are new to networking or new to being instructed on networking. How do you feel about having a plan as you enter that new networking environment here? I want to get at least this many contacts. If I get more, it's great. How do you feel about that?
You have to read the audience. Some places will note, like chamber events. If you know the people in the chamber well enough, they may give you an insight into who's attending the meeting, which then it says, okay, out of 50 people attending, there's only really 3 people I want to talk to. And geez, they're coming. So be prepared and have a little elevator pitch about who you are, refine it. We did a podcast on practice, perfect practice, and watching yourself in the mirror and talking to yourself, or have somebody film it for you on their smartphone and then look at how you look towards other people. Wear the clothes you're going to wear. If you're going to wear a hat or a scarf or something like that, wear it what you're going to wear that night and see how you look on video, and then change if you have to in order to have the effect that you want.
Listener, if this struck a chord, if you felt like you had been in that uncomfortable spot, entering a room, networking, feeling like a fish out of water, I encourage you. Not only is Joel our BNI Network Education Coordinator premier, in my opinion, he's a fantastic coach. He understands how uncomfortable entering a room without knowing a soul can be, and he knows how to get you over the hump on this. Joel, thank you.
You're welcome.